All right, welcome back to Merch Slam, your go-to spot for some WWE merch drops, some collectibles, and sometimes things that we find on sale each week. But today we definitely got a little bit of everything. I try to include a little bit more of the collectible side of things and along with the merch. But we got some retro stuff, some new superstar gear, some different tee collabs that you see already on the screen, and then some different updated toy news and some of the different sites that I like to use as well to just kind of find out and stay in touch with some of the information. But the first part I want to start out with is the complex collection that dropped earlier today. I think this was probably about midday when I saw this kind of drop, but we actually have quite a lot of different superstars featured. And I kind of want to go through each one real quick. We'll do some front and backs, talk a little bit about them. We'll move on to a couple other things that I saw that were, I think, worthy of mention. But we'll start out with the first one, which is the China tee, which honestly might be my favorite out of all of them. But we have the front that features China in kind of that raw aesthetic throwback style. We don't get to see a whole lot of newer merch with China, so this is actually really neat that they came out with that. We kind of see the chains wrapping around Ninth Wonder of the World. We have Complex down there. This looks really, really nice. For those more of old school side of things that want to update their merch, they want to update their closet, I thought they did a really good job of this. We can kind of see a little bit of that breakaway in some of the different styles and in the font and in the colors, which I thought was really neat. And then we also have DX. We have Shawn Michaels and we have Triple H there in the front, which already is really dope. But then we get to the back, and I think that's where I actually like the most on just what they did with using some of the different icons here. We have the skull just bleeding out in the crown. Written on top, we have that green that just kind of pops. Yeah, just really sick shirt. The Stone Cold one, I just love that they're all a little different. And even here, I like we have just the logo up front. We have the skulls kind of at the bottom, wrapping around as well. And then we have the back. We have Stone Cold on the back side of it. And this is just so clean. So clean for anybody out there, Stone Cold fan. This is just an awesome t-shirt. And the last one is Eddie Guerrero's, which I thought was really, really cool that they did. We have that front, just a big picture of Eddie. We have the different roses out in the front. I felt like a lot of them also were using these like flames off to the side, and we went with a different style with the roses. And they all kind of have their own unique touch to it too. And then we have the back with the different roses. We have Complex down at the bottom. But if you kind of take a zoomed out side of things, we can see the kind of common logos they were using across the DX one and also China's. And then we kind of switched it up with the skulls and then the roses. But this collection is really, really nice. They did a great job with that. I'm not sure if you can use this code that's on there. I have not tried yet, but that was today's code as of the time of this recording. But moving on, we also have a couple other things that I thought were pretty neat. We kind of continue that gritty pattern, only this time we see it with Cody's shirt. I don't have any back. It looks like it's just the front on there. So, but I thought this was a pretty neat shirt. Kind of still plays to a little bit of that retro style. And as I was reading a little bit of the description, I was trying to see if anything else stood out from it. But yeah, it was a really nice Cody shirt that I was looking at. And then we also have, which I thought was actually pretty cool, was this Is WAR. Just kind of looking at the old logo, and we kind of took that also gold logo that we normally see with WWE. We now have the black and red there for Raw, and we kind of just see that imprinted in the back. And I'm trying to see as well. I love sometimes the little descriptions they have here. But yeah, just going back to that grit camo right now seems to be the trend with some of the things that we're seeing today. But I thought this hoodie was really neat. I think they did a really good job with this if you're a little bit of an old school fan. We also have stuff for kids. I saw this, you know, The Rock Final Boss, same thing. Kind of see that lightning all the way around the shirt, off to the background with the Baramo bull in the front. I thought this was pretty neat. And this is the business sensibility mirror and his ring abilities by padding your WWE gear collection. Great choice for who knows what's best for business. Very interesting shirt. Not for me, but again, thought it was pretty neat. And then the last video I did, which again, this is all new to me, so appreciate any like, comments, subscribes, dislikes, that's fine too. But I just wanted to continue to share things that I thought were neat, and you could tell there's just some thought into some of the merch, as I'm also a big fan of that. But I wanted to keep kind of adding on to just different things around this world. I know everybody has some commentary around like the latest on the stories. I did that last time, and I'm actually not even caught up on SmackDown yet, so I have no idea what's going on. And while I might actually throw out and talk about those few things, I wanted to spend more time on this part. And, you know, I'm sure each week things will kind of change up as we go along. But this is what I find fun, and this is what I find that I want to share. But this website, it's actually really neat if you've never been there before, but it's called Toy News toynewseye.com. It's actually really cool. They always give you just the latest around all the different collectibles, and not just within wrestling, but outside of wrestling. This specific landing page right now that I got is for WWE, but if you ever get a chance to check this out, they have some really cool stuff from all over the place. Ninja Turtles is another super big interest of mine. But they kind of go over what's coming out, things that you can pre-order, things that you can order around, sports from NFL, just a bunch of different stuff there. I really feel like they do a good job of keeping up with things, but I wanted to dive in a little bit to what they were kind of releasing or giving us an update on. And we have a couple things ranging from Cody Rhodes, Rock, Jay, to the double tag team packs. So we have those two packs. We have some older ones in a moment that I'll go over, but this is kind of a small preview of what's to come and some of the different waves. So we have the collection series, we have the wave series, we have the Knuckle Cruncher series, which I think are my favorite. They're just so fun, which we'll go over here in just a second. But here are just some quick previews of some of the different ones. We can see the Seth Rollins, CM Punk. These pictures aren't like great. You can kind of see they're a little blurry, but yeah, we have Logan's, CM Punk's was pretty sick, and then Bailey, and then these were just some of the old school looking ones. I thought they did a good job with Dom too. Stone Cold, just kind of a classic. You know, the Warrior, and there's a pretty, I don't know if I'll get to see it. Here's a Tiffy Time, Trish Stratus. And there's more of the Stone Cold, and I think it was right. Yeah, this was an interesting one. I thought they did a good job with John Cena. I thought that was actually pretty cool. Not 100% sure what happened here with The Rock, but yeah, main event showdown, including The Rock's belt. And then we also have Jey Uso's with kind of like his latest gear, in-ring gear, which I thought was really neat. The Money in the Case briefcase. We have Drew McIntyre, which I thought they did a good job with this set. Yeah, they really killed it on that one. And we have Seth freaking Rollins and CM Punk, both with the mic. Some of the greatest to do it on the mic. And yeah, they did a good job. And here's just a little bit of a close-up with Dom's, which it's pretty cool, pretty neat. And then here's another set that they were highlighting as well. Let me see if I can go into, here we go. Here's some really cool classic ones we see with Diesel, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. We have, they did the Survivor Series Undertaker, which I think that was at the time when they had like the Dark Side versus the Royals. So I think we had a lot of different wrestlers from that time, but I really like the Razor Ramon one. I thought they did a good job with that too. Yeah, we even have the vest, which is just dope. Bad times don't last. Bad guys do, you know. But yeah, feel free to check out some of these different new things that are dropping. I don't know if they had a date on these. Yeah, drops for this week, so keep an eye out. Looks like they're available for pre-order, but for the most part, it looks like they'll be find your local Target is what they'll release. But otherwise, that is pretty much all I have for today's video. See you on the next one. Again, like, dislike, comment. See you guys on the next one.